Hello my brothers and sisters in nerdiness, welcome back to the Spider's Web, and we're starting off with dark grey blue to paint this corner unit, or the corner piece from the medieval walls that we're building for Andy at Wigan Wargames and Roleplay Group. This dark grey blue is going into any recesses that's going to be on display, and also just making little patterns on the wall just to be able to give it that little bit more interest as you look at it. You're not going to see it all, but you'll know it's there. Now light grey, and we're going to do something very similar with this, but this is going to be going over again patchy, but we're going to make an effort of putting this on the raised areas and the bits that are going to be hit by light a bit more. Now I do have a little bit of an issue with my brush at the moment, so you'll see me every now and again trying to do something with it to get it spraying a bit better. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Now we have sprayed this initially with a black primer, and then with a grey primer zenithal. Now we're just trying to make it look a little less flat by putting these little squirrely patterns in. It doesn't actually show up fully, but you'll see. Middle stone now, and this is where we pick out different stones in the wall, just to show that there's different types of stone that's made up this particular wall. You've seen me do this in other videos from this build series, but it's good to tell you what I'm doing as we go on, just in case this is the first video you've seen from this. I'm not making assumptions that you've been following all the way through from the first episode that we did on this this series, but I'm treating each individual one as though this is the first one you've come across. So yeah, using the spray and just picking out individual bricks. We're going to do the same now with this colour, which is red. Very imaginatively titled, but it is for a home modeler, so it's for models rather than gaming pieces. And we're doing exactly the same thing, just picking out different stones to make it look, as I say, as though there's different types of stone that's gone into the making of this particular wall. And in a bit you'll see why I'm doing this. It's not going to look as vivid and as bright later on. We're just going to be doing this just as a base colour, and in between each colour I do wash my brush out. But now we're going into a little bit of Mod Podge, and we're going to disguise the base by putting some of this Mod Podge down. This is the matte Mod Podge, and this is the interior of the castle wall, and as you'll see in a moment, we're going to be doing something to hide that great big gap between the two wall pieces. But first of all, as I said, we're just disguising the base first off, and we're doing that by just putting the Mod Podge on, then sprinkling with a little bit of sand. And now we're putting the Mod Podge away and getting the dark earth paint, and we're going to be going over on the sand that we just put down. And we can do this with an airbrush because we're not using a paintbrush. We're not moving any of the sand with a brush, so it's easier to do with this way. And if any of the any of the sand does blow off, that's fine, it was loose anyway, so it doesn't matter. And this will disguise any gaps that there is. If there are too many, you can always add some more sand, or you can do other things. There's plenty out there that you can use. And we're going up to the base of the wall, just to show that there's dust and stuff being kicked up. Now we're using some super glue. This is a gel super glue, and we're going to place it a few patches here and there along the bottom of the wall, and then going up that crack, or that gap between the two wall pieces, and branching out slightly, as though there is something growing up that wall, and that's what we're trying to make it look. This is the interior of the wall, so it's not going to affect the defensive nature of the castle wall. This is going to be on the inside of it, so if anybody's climbing up that, they're already on the inside, so it doesn't make any difference. And we're using some of this green flocking, and we're just going to pop it down on the base where we put some glue to show it's like shrubs or weeds or something, and then we'll place it going up the middle of the piece where we've put all the super glue already. And this, as I say, just looks as though there's something like a vine or some description growing up the wall, and it hides rather nicely that horrible gap in between the two wall pieces. It's a good way of hiding things. Now I'm doing this in real time, so you can actually see what I'm doing properly. I've not sped this part up. You can just, so you can follow along a little easier when it comes down to certain things. With the painting, you've seen, there are plenty of other videos showing how I've painted these, and I think most of them, to be honest, with this type of thing is speeded up, but you can follow on a bit easier. But I just thought it might be a little more obvious if I just do this bit at true speed rather than speed it up. Yeah, I'm waffling, aren't I? These buildings are for Andy at Wigan Wargames and Roleplay Group. I think I mentioned that earlier. I've got one more to do after one more to paint after this, and that's the tower. Giving this a spritz now with what you call it, activator. So that's set the super glue, so it's not going to move anywhere. And now we'll do the same thing at the front as well along the base. We're not going to put it up the wall because this time we don't want anybody. We don't want it to look as though there's a way of invaders or attackers getting in easier. So that's why we do it on the inside and not the outside. I'm just glad it's that kind of building. And you may notice as well we're not touching the sides of it, and that's because they're interlocking in with the other pieces in the set. So we can put all this away now, and once we've done that, we will get out the next thing that we need, which is, if I remember rightly, I think it's a wash. I may be wrong. I'm sure I got a wash out here. It's been a day or two since I recorded this video, so I'm not quite certain. But it's looking quite nice. I hope you agree. Quite impressed with that at the moment. But yes, we're getting the wash out, and it's a tin of the dark tone wash from Army Painter. So we'll just get a stick in there and give it a good mixing up to make sure everything's thoroughly sorted out and we're able to paint with it and get the pigments that we need. Spill it all over the outside of the rim, then I turn to show you what it is, and then spill it all over the inside of my spray booth. As you can see, pooling at the bottom there. I'm a clumsy so-and-so, but we could put that aside and we can use what we've spilt to go over the wall. And we're not going over the greenery area, we're just going over the walls, all over the MDF parts. So that's what we're doing there, and I've just cut it a little bit because it's a long and drawn out process. And now all we have to do is to give it time to dry, and then we can come back with the next bit, and we just keep checking it to make sure it doesn't pool in any places that we don't want it to. But now it's dried, this is how it looks, and you can see the middle stone and the red have darkened down quite a bit. And now we'll get some mummy's robes from Army Painter, and we'll dry brush this over the top to make it look, or to bring back some of those highlights that we've lost. And with this we'll get a slightly damp, moist makeup brush, and we'll just in downward strokes go over the walls, and you'll see that picks out the edges of the brick and stone patterns, and we'll do it along the top of the battlements as well, just to pick out those edges, and it's a really nice effect once it's done. And you'll see as well though that my fingernails have changed colour. That's because in between waiting for this to dry I went to get my nails done again. Now we'll go with mahogany, and we're using this part just to pick out a few areas like these little tabs that certain bits click into. We'll do them as though they're wooden supports for the castle walls. I'm not sure, I couldn't remember at the time whether I did this in grey or this mahogany, so I've done it in mahogany. If Andy doesn't like it, he can always paint it over in a grey, I don't mind that. I might double check anyway and with my older videos and see what I did, and if I need to paint it grey, I'll paint it grey before he gets it back. So I'll do all these bits just in else. I know I did these in mahogany. But that's it, we're coming up to the end of the video now. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you would like to help out the channel at all, then please give a like, share it with your gran or anybody else who may be interested, and subscribe. Yeah. Please leave a comment as well. You can always become a patron and help out financially as well as buy me a coffee. But anything you can do to help the channel is incredibly welcome. And now I think we've just gone, was that middle stone? I couldn't remember. And we're just doing a little bit of highlights on the wooden parts, and that's it. So we have the photographs at the end of this video to show you the final product, and that will be it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Until next time, as always, stay safe and take care. God bless, and bye for now.